Hi there! Feliz Dia de Muertos, Happy Day of the Dead, and welcome to my first Simlish video blog. My name's Ingarup, I'm a Sims player from Mexico, and I have been playing the game for a very long time, as you can tell by the Sims self I have here, which was made a long time ago. I used to be very active back when the community was based on live journal. I used to post a legacy slash soap opera, and I began to create custom content, mostly hairy textures and recolors. And then I moved to Tumblr like everyone else. And although I am not as active as I used to be, I still like to browse the forums, download custom content, post a picture here and there, and try to keep up with what you guys have been doing. But I'm I am a bit disappointed I was never able to finish my legacy. I guess the plot really went out of hand, so I really lost the inspiration, so I dropped it. So one of the things I want to try to do is to complete the story. So this series of videos hopefully would allow me to keep motivated to make the story because I want to share with you some tips, some tricks. Perhaps you guys can share some tips and tricks with me because I haven't done storytelling in so long. So I am not aware of new mods, of new post boxes, of new techniques because although The Sims 2 is a very old game, the community is still creating content and still innovating. It's amazing. So I'm really eager to use these tools as well. So hopefully this will be a way to exchange ideas. So the story I want to create, okay, there we go. The story I want to make is also a legacy, and it's also a legacy based on the Broke family back from my old legacy, but it's going to be a shorter legacy. It's going to be 5 generations, and I want it to be an interdimensional legacy. And by interdimensional, I don't know how it's pronounced. By interdimensional, I mean it's going to take place in The Sims 2, The Sims 3, and The Sims 4. Why? Because I am insane, but also because I want to explore The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 a little bit more. I have purchased this game, so maybe it will be fun and try something new. So and keep things fresh. So let me explain to you a little bit of the origin of this story. So if you're watching a Sims video, you're probably as nerdy as I am, but I enjoy reading about fan theories. I enjoy reading TV tropes, which is a huge time sink, and I also love reading wikis. So I found the Sims wiki, and while I was browsing some entries about the pre-mates, I found some interesting details about Skip, who's going to be the main character of this story. So there are three mysteries surrounding Skip. The first one is how he died, because if you have played the game, you know that Maxis created little backstories for the pre-made Sims, not very clear, so we can fill in the blanks or continue as they came. So the backstory they created was that Skip's already dead by the time The Sims 2 begins, and he supposedly drowned in his tiny swimming pool that it's on the back of the Broke trailer. You know, it's a square shaped pool which has no ladder. So it's weird how he died because it's not a very large swimming pool. It's not clear if he was just unlucky or maybe his energy ran out or maybe he was killed. It's not really clear what happened to him. So that's the first mystery surrounding Skip. The second one became clear when The Sims 3 came out. If you are a nerd like me, as I said, and you want to put the Sims games in order to make some sort of a timeline, the first game will be The Sims 3, then the original Sims, then The Sims 2, and The Sims 4 is an alternate universe. So The Sims 3, The Sims 1, and Sims 2 are a timeline. So The Sims 3 takes place 50 years in the past, and in that game, Skip shows up as a child, and he lives in Riverview. And if Riverview and Sunset Valley, the two hoods that are in the base game, are taking place at the same time, and I believe they are because I have the theory that Sunset Valley and Riverview became later Pleasantview, then he will be the same age as Mortimer and Bella, and he should be an old guy in The Sims 2. But no, he's supposed to be an adult or maybe a young adult because he has young children, and you can see even that Betty and Bob are not as old before the events of the game. You can see that Brandy looks pretty similar to how she looks in the game. So what happened? Why is Skip not an old guy and Mortimer is an old guy? So what's going on? So this mystery was asked to one of the Maxis developers, and they call themselves Team Guru Rain, and they make the following comment about the Broke family. The Broke family has their roots in the more rustic area of town. If you have played The Sims 2, you'll have a very interesting time telling this story. Hint, you'll have to skip twice for it to work. So what I mean by skip? Skip his life, skip on the timeline, skip to another dimension. So that's how the origin skip came out. So there are possible explanations about what Sim Guru Rain means. So there are two theories. The first one is that the Riverview skip is the father of the Pleasantview skip, which will place the Sim 3 in an alternate timeline since in-game both recognize Flat as their father. This theory, I'm going to ignore this because it comes from because there are two skips in Pleasantview, because you know that the skip died in the Broke lot, but there's no gravestone, so it's a little bit complicated. Tombstone is not it's not really clear what happened to him, and there are two skips, and one can be resurrected, and the other one can't be, and one has blue eyes, and the other has green eyes. So it's probably a bug from the game. So I'm not going to touch that. But the other explanation, which is my favorite, is that Skip somehow became involved in time travel, and that allowed him to skip 2 generations in order to make the ages match. This is already hinted at by Don Lothario's appearance in Riverview, and it's strongly hinted that he is the same Sim from The Sims 2, and that makes no sense because he came from the future, and was made possible to an extent in Ambitions and Into the Future. Ambition has an old school time machine, and Into the Future, well, the whole premise of the expansion pack is time traveling. So in The Sims 3, time traveling is canon, it is possible, so maybe Skip went to the past and into another dimension. So that's what I'm going to go with the story. So in this video I'm going to show you a little bit how the story is going to go, just a little preview. So the first chapter is going to be from Riverview to Pleasantview. It will begin with Skip's stories since he was a child. He was born in Riverview, he was born in Sims 3 universe or dimension, and his traits are Daredevil, like Sleeper and Neat, and the clue one is Daredevil. So he is not afraid of anything. He likes to try new stuff, and he is the kind of thing that will be crazy enough to time travel and to skip generation and go to another dimension. For this story, I created Sims 2, Sims 3, and Sims 4 version of all my main characters, my main legacy cares and maybe spares. I haven't worked on that yet. So this is how he's born, and this is how he will look when he goes to the Sims 2 universe, and later he will go to the Sims 4 universe. So what happened to Skip? Well, when he was a child, he met a guy called Don, who his backstory said that Don woke up one morning in a whole new world. He remembers stepping onto a teleporter, several women laughing, then nothing else until he found himself here. So he was banished from the Sims 2 Pleasantview and ended up in Riverview with no memory of what happened. It was probably an act of revenge from someone who he let down. It could be the Caliente sisters, it could be Bella God, it could be Cassandra, it could be Kylene, who's also a child in Sunset Valley, so that's another mystery. So what happened? So he enters in an old granary, abandoned for years and waiting for nature to demolish it, that is, until Dawn showed up. So Skip meets Dawn and they become friends, and Dawn shares with Skip his story and how he wants to fix things up. So they end up finding a portal, perhaps a broken portal, the one that sent Dawn to Riverview. So they try to fix it up, and then Dawn, because he doesn't want to screw up again and he's afraid of traveling back in time and maybe ending up in yet another dimension, he probably asked Skip the Daredevil to go to the past and make sure that his story never happened, that he never meets the gods or maybe the Caliente sisters. I am not sure. So That's how Skip is going to end up in the past. So this chapter will feature, of course, Skip's family. Not many though, because there are too many characters. Probably will find a backstory for Ruby, for Susie. I'll see what comes up. And there's also a mysterious neighbor that will help Dawn and Skip finish the time machine. I already know who is this mysterious neighbor, but I'm not going to show him or her yet because that will ruin the twist. And of course, once Skip ends up in Pleasantview, he will be saved by the alternate versions of all the future alternate versions of Bob and Newbie, who are now in Pleasantview and who have a young daughter named Brandy, and they will raise Skip because Skip has no family. He's a mysterious Sims for them, and when Skip and Brandy become older and they will have the same age, they will get married and have a family. And this is Dustin, this is Beau, and by the time Skip dies or disappears, Brandy should be expecting their third child, which in the Sims game is usually a male clone of Brandy, but that's not going to happen here because I'm not going to follow Max's rules. So this is what's going to happen in chapter 1. It's going to end right on the swimming pool incident when Dustin is a child and he's going to watch the incident and how he disappears. So that's going to happen on chapter 2 and it will begin and sorry. Let me go back. Back. Okay. So chapter 2 is going to be from Pleasantview to Oasis Springs. So it will begin with the swimming pool incident. And what will happen? Well, when Skip went back in time and found the Sims 2 and fell in love with Brandy and began his own family, he became aware that if he prevented Dawn from meeting the Caliente sister, the God family, and from being banished, and he will disappear, or maybe his family will disappear. So he doesn't follow Dawn's instructions. So Dawn finds a way to go back to the Sims 2 universe and want to have his revenge on Skip. Perhaps tries to kill him, and Skip is saved by falling in the swimming pool, which is a portal. I still need to figure out how it's going to work and how it's not going to make sense, but that's the gist of what is going to happen in the swimming pool incident. And as I said, Dustin is going to see what happened, so that's going to be important. Sorry about that, I'm back. So I was saying, Dustin will see the incident, and that will have an effect on how the story is going to move from that point into the future. So this chapter will begin with the swimming pool incident, and Skip will travel through a portal and end up in Oasis Springs. But as you know, it's one of the main neighborhoods in The Sims 4. So he's going to end up there, and he, by destiny, is going to meet Penelope Broke. Penelope Broke is a Sim that was born in Strange Town, so she's originally from The Sims 2 dimension, but then she was banished to Oasis Springs and she has mysterious powers. And if you take a good look at her, you will see that she resembles a very popular pre-made Sims character. So you can probably figure out which are his mysterious powers. So, but that will let Skip know what happened to him, what happened to his legacy, and from this point onward, he will have to make a decision. He will make a new life in The Sims 4. If he will try to fix things and go back to The Sims 2, or just pretend that nothing happened and move to The Sims 3. But all his actions will have consequences on his descendants, and in this case, going to be his children, his sons, and in the case of Penelope, five generations down the line. So Skip doesn't know which of his sons is Penelope's predecessor, but you'll see in a little while who is he. So that's how the story is going to continue. So that's what I have in mind. Of course, I have some other details figured out, but I don't want to share all of that yet. So that's just a taste of how the story is going to begin. But I want to show you some of my other main character legacy sims. So generation 2 here is going to be Beau Broke. He used to be the founder of the Broke legacy back in the late 2000s, and that sounds really, really, really ancient. So he skips second son. He's a knowledge sim. Well, he was also born in the Sims 2 universe, of course. He's a knowledge sim because I read that on his wiki entry. Apparently, Maxis pre-programmed him to be a future knowledge sim, even if he's a toddler in the game. So he can be anything you want if you play the game, but he's supposed to be a knowledge sim. So that's pretty interesting. And he's going to be a physics professor at Sim State University. Why? Because, as I said before, Dustin saw the incident, Dustin saw how Skip disappeared, and the weird way he did that. So Dustin is going to go down the criminal path to figure out what happened to his father, and Beau is going to pursue science to explain what happened to his father from Dustin's stories, of course, because he didn't see what happened. And his pursuit of science will end up with him lost in space. He's going to get abducted and he will disappear and he will end up as a Sims 4 character in 6 Sam. And this is going to be the most difficult part of making this story for me, because 6 Sam is a special lot from the Sims 4, from the Get to Work expansion pack, and it's not easy to get there, so this is going to be interesting. And I also made a Sim 3 version of Beau just in case. I came up with another idea. Then, while Beau is trapped in 6 Sam, he's going to have a child, and his name is going to be Cosmo Broke, the same character I used to have in my old legacy. He was born in 6 Sam, so he's going to be born as a Sims 4 character. Then, for some reason, he's going to be banished to Lunar Lakes, Sims 3 alien world, and then he's going to lead the half alien revolution. That's an idea I'm still developing, and he's going to have a daughter. And if you read my old legacy, you know that he has a child with Bella God, with the abducted Bella God. So it's kind of freaky what happens to Cosmo, but he's going to lose this daughter to the war. So who is this daughter? She used to be called Wanda in my original legacy, but in this one it's going to be Stella because it rhymes with her mother's name. So Stella is going to be born as a Sims 3 character, born in Lunar Lakes. Then she's going to be banished to Strange Time, so she's going to end up in the Sims 2 world. And there she's going to be imprisoned by cruel scientists, and you know who they are if you have played with Strange Time. And then she will meet and have a daughter with that descendant. And that daughter, of course, is going to be Penelope. So what happened to Stella? Because Penelope was born in The Sims 2, and she lived with her mother. But what happened to her? Well, that's what you're going to see in the story. So that's the end for now. So this may be, I don't want to be too long, because this is just a taste and see how these tools work out. So for the meantime, I'm just working on figuring out the different lots from which I'm going to make this story. So for example, I have already downloaded this old town. I was figuring out if I should have skip first, move to the old town from The Sims 1, because in The Sims 2 the newbies are already dead, but I'm still figuring that out. I have also downloaded a clean Pleasantview and a clean Strange Town, and these are by Meet Me to the River. This is their live journal. Let me zoom into their address so you can see it clearer. So because part of the story is going to take place in Pleasantview, and as I told you before, part of the story is going to take place in Strange Town. Then I went to Jenna Sims. This is a very, very old site. Let me zoom into the link. This is the link. And I already downloaded the newbies lot. I'm going to download an empty lot and place it on perhaps in Pleasantview to make things easier for me. This is where the newbies used to live and where Brandy was raised. I am also going to download the Riverview world with fixes applied, because if I'm going to be doing some storytelling in Sims 3, I don't want it to be too laggy, and I know that that's an issue with this game. I also I will have to save some sim points to get Lunar Lakes, and this is the world in which Cosmo will give birth to, or will have where Stella is born, and it also has an interesting backstory. And I will have to read this a little bit more and see what I can adapt from this backstory. And I know that Bella God is buried here as an old lady, so that's how Cosmo and Bella will meet each other and end up with Stella's birth. And finally, for Sixam, I haven't found a way to download Sixam. I don't know. That's, as I say, it's going to be the hardest part of this legacy. But I found this channel that is called Stranded on Sixam and how to have a sim live in Sixam. So perhaps I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that with Beau. Maybe build a underground lot and disguise it as a spaceship and then have him explore the world. It's going to be fake of everything, but will be a way how he end up on Sixam and give birth to Cosmo. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoy listening to me ramble, and next time I'm going to show you how I'm going to create the sims, how I'm going to install the games, which mods I'm going to use, which custom content. So thank you for watching and see you next week. Bye!